The story continues with Xiaoyan appearing full of menace towards Protector Wu. With a sharp gaze and a face full of ferocity, there were a few faint traces of blood at the corner of Xiaoyan's mouth, and his clothes were tattered. At a glance, he looked a bit miserable, clearly due to the firestorm that had swept through earlier, causing Xiaoyan to suffer several injuries. Shortly after, Protector Wu said, "If Xiaoyan kills me, then the Soul Hall will surely make it difficult for Xiaoyan to survive in the Central Plains." Xiaoyan was well aware that the Hall of Souls was not the Ice River Valley. Hearing this, Xiaoyan just sneered before finally releasing an invisible fire that immediately touched Protector Wu's body. Screams were soon heard. Then Xiaoyan continued to ask, "Does it hurt very much?" Protector Wu remained silent after being burned by the fallen heart flame, and he didn't even have the strength left to speak. Soon, applause was heard, and Xiaoyan quickly turned towards the source of the sound. Xiaoyan glanced at Tian Shuangzi, who continued to say that it was truly unexpected, even though he had miscalculated this time. With the ability to defeat TNG's group with the power of a 2-star Daozong, Xiaoyan had exceeded his expectations. Unfortunately, his Ice River Valley would not allow any mistakes to happen a second time. Hearing this, Xiaoyan vaguely realized Tian Shuangzi's intention and quickly took out a pill, then put it in his mouth. Moments after taking the pill, Xiaoyan recovered his Dao Qi, his pale face immediately looking better. Xiaoyan squinted his eyes as he heard Tian Shuangzi's words. Then a thought crossed his mind, and the Earth Demon Puppet, which was close by, rushed towards Xiaoyan. The Earth Demon Puppet stood beside Xiaoyan as a guard because Xiaoyan's condition was gradually weakening. On the other hand, Tian Hu Zunji immediately raised his eyes and said, "Tian Shuangzi does not need to use words to scare the younger generation. Tian Shuangzi will not be able to do anything today." After that, Tian Hu Zunji immediately turned to Xiaoyan and asked him to rest and leave this person to him. Xiaoyan nodded slightly after hearing Tian Hu Zunji's words, but just as he was about to move, a voice suddenly came from the sky. Everyone immediately turned toward the source of the voice, which said, "Do they think that people from the Hall of Souls can be captured randomly?" Along with that, black fog surged before finally dissipating, revealing 10 people underneath. The aura of these 10 people was all quite strong, especially the figure at the forefront. He was an old man in black robes with blue hair, and even a bit of energy could be seen seeping from his body. However, the entire area was now truly trembling violently with his appearance. A wave of commotion suddenly erupted, and they wondered if this was an elite Dao Zun from the Hall of Souls. Xiaoyan's body also suddenly tensed as the group appeared. Xiaoyan's face immediately turned gloomy, and he did not expect people from the Hall of Souls to arrive at this time. Tian Hu Zunji's expression also changed slightly at this moment, and his eyes stared sharply at the blue-haired old man in the sky. Others could not sense his aura, but he could feel it. Tian Hu Zunji murmured that this person's power was even greater compared to Tian Shuangzi in front of him. It was likely he had reached the strength of a 2-star Double Zun, and today it seemed the situation had truly become much worse. When the expressions of Xiaoyan and Tian Hu Zunji turned gloomy, Tian Shuangzi's face showed a smile. At this moment, he glanced at Tian Hu Zunji's expression, and his heart unconsciously felt a little joy. He immediately clasped his hands towards the blue-haired old man, then laughed and said, "This is actually Qinghai Zunjie. I did not expect that today's issue would even worry such a great person like you." The old man Qinghai Zunji immediately said, "It's been a long time since we last met. How have you been, Tian Shuangzi?" Qinghai continued, saying that he had just received an important message and happened to be leading some people on a task. At this moment, he became curious after receiving the message. Hearing this, Protector Wu, who was in Xiaoyan's grasp, immediately asked, "Respected Elder Qinghai, quickly capture Xiaoyan. He is someone personally ordered by the Hall Master to be captured." Xiaoyan's eyes instantly turned cold, and an invisible flame surged out, then wrapped around Protector Wu. After that, he took out a jade bottle from his storage ring and put Protector Wu into it. The bottle was quickly sealed with the invisible flame and finally placed back into the storage ring. On the other side, Qinghai, seeing this scene, immediately said, "It's truly unexpected that Xiaoyan dares to show off even when being targeted by the Hall of Soul. Xiaoyan's courage is indeed not bad." He immediately ordered, "Xiaoyan, release Protector Wu and come with me to the Hall of Soul." Tian Hu Zunji's face darkened when he heard Qinghai's words. His body moved instantly, but suddenly Tian Shuangzi was right in front of him. Tian Shuangzi laughed after seeing Tian Hu Zunji's truly ugly expression. He immediately turned to Qinghai and informed him that this person was also Xiaoyan's companion. However, Qinghai could leave this person to Tian Shuangzi and focus on capturing Xiaoyan. King Hai immediately said, "If that's the case, then I'll troll Tian Shuang Zi. I'll come and assist Tian Shuang Zi after capturing Xiaoyan." Tian Shuang Zi nodded with a smile. Then he immediately turned his gaze toward Tian Wuzunjing. Meanwhile, King Hai immediately turned his gaze towards Xiaoyan and gave a slight smile. Then, with a gentle press of his foot into the empty air, the space in front of him quickly became distorted. This action by King Hai caused Xiaoyan's expression to change instantly. Xiaoyan's body quickly moved to escape, but suddenly the space in front of him became distorted. Simultaneously, King Hai's body appeared and a wrinkled hand immediately clenched, causing the space around Xiaoyan to harden and lock him in place. King Hai immediately smiled and said, "No one desired by the Hall of Soul can escape." He reached out his hand to touch Xiaoyan's head, but the solid space around them suddenly shattered. Even King Hai's body showed some signs of fatigue at this moment, and he took a slight step back. The space solidified until it finally formed an elegant figure in white clothing that slowly appeared in front of Xiaoyan. The figure immediately said, "If you harm Xiaoyan, you will die." A smile on King Hai's face quickly changed. He then stepped back slightly and asked, "Who is this person? Why does he dare to meddle in the affairs of the Hall of Soul?" On the other side, Xiaoyan's expression relaxed slightly upon realizing that the figure present was Xiao Yixian. Still somewhat astonished, Xiaoyan quickly asked, "Has Xiao Yixian succeeded?" Xiao Yixian turned and smiled, but suddenly withdrew his smile with a serious expression and asked, "Is this the person who hurt Xiaoyan?" Upon hearing the question, Xiaoyan smiled and replied that the person who hurt him had suffered injuries 10 times worse than his own. Xiaoyan then glanced at Xiao Yixian and asked, "How about Xiao Yixian's strength? Has he entered the Daozun class?" Xiao Yixian smiled faintly and nodded, feeling very well at the moment. The debilitating poison that had plagued him for years was now under control since the formation of Poison Dan. From now on, he no longer needed to worry about his poisoned body accidentally erupting and causing death. Meanwhile, King Hai's expression sank completely. He then asked, "Is he also colluding with Xiaoyan?" Upon hearing the question, Xiao Yixian slowly turned and smiled, nodding. Seeing Xiao Yixian's nod, King Hai immediately said, "This issue is a grudge between my Hall of Soul and Xiaoyan. Think twice before getting involved, or you will offend a major faction and regret it." Anger flashed in King Hai's eyes as he assessed the situation. The way this figure condensed space with empty hands indicated their strength might be slightly superior to his own. However, he didn't know if this person had reached the rank of Daozun No. 3. King Hai wondered inwardly, how can so many experts be helping this kid? 2 Daozunalites? Even the branch hall of the Hall of Soul cannot take this issue lightly. On the other hand, Xiao Yixian quickly stated that he had never heard of the Hall of Soul. Even if he had, it was inconsequential compared to a strand of Xiaoyan's hair. Responding to Xiao Yixian's words, King Hai immediately turned grim. A flickering blue light appeared in his wrinkled hand, shaped like an eagle's claw. King Hai then said, "If that's the case, let this noble one test whether Xiao Yixian has the qualifications to speak those words." Afterward, King Hai instructed someone named Ganda to lead another group and capture the cursed kid. Hearing King Hai's command, 9 other experts from the Hall of Soul responded in unison. They slowly spread out and began to surround Xiaoyan. As they approached, the aura of these 9 individuals was quite strong. Although not comparable to TNG, the leader known as Ganda possessed the strength of a level 7 Daozun. While the others were slightly weaker, they were still formidable opponents for Xiaoyan. If Xiaoyan were at his peak, he could still fight them all. However, given his current condition, it seemed a bit challenging. Realizing this, Xiao Yixian quickly glanced around and gently opened his mouth. A grayish mist was immediately exhaled. The mist spread quickly with the wind, turning into a cluster of grayish fog that conveniently enveloped the space around Xiaoyan. Seeing the fog surrounding Xiaoyan, Ganda's expression turned grim. He looked around and then ordered one of his men to step forward. The man reluctantly advanced. The mist immediately surged as they made contact, forcing the man to retreat. He then sat in midair, circulating Dao Qi to expel the poison from his body. After seeing this scene, the expression of the Ganda group immediately changed. A clear terror crossed their eyes when they saw the gray mist. Seeing Xiaoyan safe now, Xiao Yixian quickly turned to King Hai. He smiled and remarked that he wanted to test the true strength of an elite Daozun. Therefore, today, Xiao Yixian would test his strength against King Hai, who had become his target. Xiao Yixian gently clenched his hand, and a grayish aura adhered to his long fingers, causing ripples in the surrounding space. King Hag tensed as he saw this, and immediately hostility flashed in his eyes. His body moved instantly and space distorted as he led an attack towards Xiao Yixian. His wrinkled hand, like an eagle's claw, shot out, creating spatial ripples that reached Xiao Yixian's long neck. Xiao Yixian gracefully shifted his footing and easily evaded King Hai's sharp attack. The gray Dao Qi clinging to his hands suddenly swelled. Then Xiao Yixian's fingers pressed against the empty sky and directed it towards King Hai's body. Immediately, the gray Dao Kai shot towards King Hai like lightning. King Hai's expression changed slightly as he faced Xiao Yixian's gray Dao Qi. He could feel the danger as the gray Dao Kai rushed towards him. An explosion occurred with a blue light jumping from his left palm, colliding with Xiao Yixian's hand. As they clashed, a dark black spatial line suddenly opened in the sky. Xiao Yixian's beautiful body trembled, while King Hai stepped back 2 to 3 steps before stabilizing himself. King Hai's expression truly turned ugly after steadying himself. He then wondered what kind of poison was in the woman's hand. King Hai was truly surprised after feeling the lethal poison emanating from her body. This was the first time King Hai had encountered such deadly poison. On the other side, Xiao Yixian didn't immediately pursue after forcing King Hai to retreat. He quickly moved his body and appeared beside Xiaoyan. Then he signaled with his hand and pulled a mist around Xiaoyan. Immediately, the space beside them distorted again, and the figure of Tian Hu Zunji also appeared at this moment. Tian Hu Zunji then said that Xiaoyan was truly injured. They were outnumbered and shouldn't continue to be entangled with these people. It seemed the best thing now was for them to leave first before deciding what to do next. Xiao Yixian nodded slightly, realizing that this place was truly unsuitable for them to stay any longer. Tian Hu Zunji continued, saying he would destroy the barrier of cold air in the sky. At the same time, Xiao Yixian needed to immediately take Xiaoyan and leave. Tian Hu Zunji didn't wait for Xiao Yixian's reply. After he said those words, his body disappeared immediately and he appeared under the mist barrier. Then he swung his fist forcefully, and instantly an explosion occurred as a strong blow struck the cold mist. The entire mist barrier began to vibrate before becoming thinner. Tian Shuangzai seemed to understand the intentions of Xiaoyan's group. Then he shouted, asking King Hai to attack and not let them escape. Tian Shuangzi's expression truly turned cold as their Ice River Valley had called for such a large force to come to this place. What face would they have if Xiaoyan's group ultimately managed to escape now? On the other hand, King Hai understood what he needed to do, so finally both of them quickly passed and turned into shadows of light as they viciously rushed towards Tian Hu Zunji. On the other hand, Xiao Yixian immediately dashed out. Then he waved his hand, and immediately the gray poison mist spread. The poison mist completely blocked the two who were about to attack Tian Hu Zunji. Immediately, they stopped out of fear of the effectiveness of the thieving. Meanwhile, Tian Hu Zunji once again delivered a merciless punch. The two figures stopped after Tian Hu Zunji threw this punch. The cold air barrier piercing the sky finally revealed a tunnel. Joy appeared in Tian Hu Zunji's eyes as he saw this. He glanced at Xiaoyan and Xiao Yixian and urged them all to leave immediately. They swiftly shot off through the tunnel that appeared in the cold air barrier. Soon, dense spatial ripples spread across the sky, revealing a human figure in a white robe standing on a throne that slowly rose. The cold air in the sky suddenly peaked as the figure appeared and stood, causing flakes of snow to scatter down from the sky. In a brief moment, the entire city of Yi was under a sea of snow. Xiaoyan's group halted instantly at this moment, sensing imminent danger. They swiftly retreated with lightning speed. Simultaneously, a cracking sound suddenly emitted in the distorted space, and a black ice ladder slowly extended. The figure in the white robe descended slowly using the black ice ladder. Commotion instantly erupted in Yi City with audible discussions. Those with extensive knowledge quickly asked, did the Valley Master of the Ice River, named Bing He, truly intervene? Meanwhile, Tian Shuangzi in the sky saw the figure in the white robe appear, and joy surged on his face. He quickly cupped his hands and saluted the Valley Master. Shortly after, the young-looking man in the white robe quickly asked, where is Tianji? Tian Shuangzi looked embarrassed upon hearing the question. He pointed to a large hole in Yi City where Tianji lay unconscious and severely injured. The man in the white robe immediately glanced in the direction indicated by Tian Shuangzi. Shortly thereafter, King Hai, standing beside Tian Shuangzi, quickly cupped his hands and said, unexpectedly, even the Valley Master Bing He personally intervened. Bing He nodded before King Hai continued, stating that someone named Xiaoyan was personally requested by the Hall Master. Please give Hall of Souls some leeway after Bing He captures them and hands Xiaoyan over to him. Surprise flickered in Bing-hee's eyes upon hearing King Hai's words. His gaze immediately shifted with some interest towards Zioyan. He quickly asked, "Is this the person personally requested by the Hall Master of the Soul?" After that, his gaze immediately shifted towards Xiao Yixian. Then, he said he only wanted the pathetic poison body. On the other hand, Zioyan quickly surveyed her surroundings and assessed the situation. The strength of this person was truly frightening. They might not be weaker than Tang Zhen from Burning Flame Valley. If they were to exchange blows with this individual, even Xiao Yixian wouldn't be suitable to confront them at the moment. Clearly, this was a dangerous situation. If they didn't handle it properly, the city of Yi would truly become a place of despair for Zioyan. Some of Zioyan's Dao Qi had recovered by now, and if the critical moment arrived, Zioyan could only resort to using the Destruction Fire Lotus. Otherwise, they would likely all struggle to escape this disaster. Shortly after, Xiao Yixian quickly told Zioyan that she would hold them off. It was then that Zioyan and Tuan Tian Hu Zunji needed to find an opportunity to escape. Meanwhile, Tian Hu Zunji sighed and remarked that it wouldn't be easy, even if they wanted to leave. On the other side, they also had 3 elite Dozun. Moreover, with Bing-hee whose strength they couldn't gauge. Before long, Bing-hee stated that he wouldn't harm Xiao Yixian if she went with him. In response, Xiao Yixian's face turned as cold as ice. Then she said that it was all just a dream of Bing Zunshi's. Instantly, a sorrowful poison vapor surged from Xiao Yixian's body and formed an arrow that vanished into distorted space in front of Bing-hee. Bing-hee smiled in the face of the poisonous arrow aimed at his heart. He took a breath from his mouth, then emitted a suction force and immediately absorbed the sorrowful poison vapor into his body. A gray aura appeared on Bing-hee's face, and moments later, this grayish color vanished. The unusual light in his eyes became denser as he spoke of it being the purest sorrowful poison vapor. The purer it was, the stronger his desire to obtain Xiao Yixian. Once he obtained her, his sorrowful poison body might become the most perfect constitution. The expressions of Zioyan's group changed as they heard his words. They looked at Bing-hee in shock and wondered if he too possessed a sorrowful poison body. Responding to the surprise and curiosity of Zioyan's group, Bing-hee quickly stated that sorrowful poison bodies were divided into natural and artificial types. His poison body was artificial, but that wasn't an issue. As long as he could obtain a sorrowful poison body, he could compensate for that deficiency. Zioyan breathed a sigh of relief after hearing that Bing-hee's poison body was artificial. She murmured that it was no wonder the Ice River Valley was seeking a sorrowful poison body, and it seemed like that was the reason. After that, Bing-hee rubbed the black snowflake between his eyebrows and laughed. He remarked that he was indeed too excited. Unconsciously, he had already informed them all about it. The black snowflake, once rubbed, fluttered, and the swirling snowflakes around him immediately turned into a strange black color. After that, he raised his hand and gently pointed towards the Zioyan group. Black snowflakes immediately shot toward the Zioyan group from all directions. The expressions of Xiao Yixian and Tian Hu Zunji changed slightly as they saw Bing-hee unleash his attack. They quickly moved to protect Zioyan, their powerful Dao Qi surging out of their bodies, forming a terrifying Dao Qi wall in front of them. An explosion occurred as the two clashed, spatial cracks spreading like spiderwebs. This intense exchange caused Xiao Yixian and Tian Hu Zunji's bodies to tremble instantly. They pushed against the empty air and quickly retreated 100 meters. Currently, they were fighting a 2-on-1 battle, but Bing-hee emerged victorious. On the other side, Bing-hee smiled faintly. After defeating Xiao Yixian and Tian Hu Zunji with a single strike, he glanced towards Zioyan and waved his hand. Instantly, the mist turned into a black dragon that slowly vanished. An illusory fire lotus gradually appeared in Zioyan's palm alongside the approaching black dragon. However, Zioyan's fire lotus grew paler as she struggled with exhaustion. The black dragon ferociously attacked, appearing before countless eyes. But just as Zioyan's fire lotus was about to fully manifest, a space in front of her distorted. Two elderly figures appeared strangely, waving their sleeves, causing the black dragon to dissipate. Soon, a green figure slowly emerged behind the two elderly figures in the distorted space. A soft voice with a delicate aura resonated through the sky, saying, "If Zioyan is injured, the Ice River Valley will disappear." Zioyan's blood-red eyes trembled as the gentle voice reached her ears. Her throat rolled faintly as her eyes slid toward the distorted space in disbelief. The voice truly held deep familiarity in Zioyan's heart. Unconsciously, Zioyan uttered a name upon seeing Xun Er's figure in a distorted space. Bing's initially indifferent expression changed abruptly at this unexpected turn of events. His eyes narrowed as he stared at the two figures in the distorted space. Meanwhile, on the other side, Xun Er swiftly shifted her feet and suddenly appeared right in front of Sioyan. She extended her clean, jade-like white hand and gently pressed it against Sioyan's head. Sioyan's body trembled softly, finally unable to contain the emotion suppressed in her heart for years. Sioyan took a step forward, then reached out her hand and embraced this exceptionally beautiful woman in front of many onlookers. Sioyan's sudden action slightly surprised Xun Er, causing her small mouth to emit a soft breath before a blush flew to her face. On the other side, the eyes of the two elderly figures in black robes that had appeared earlier suddenly revealed sharpness as Sioyan embraced Xun Er. However, after seeing that Xun Er didn't resist in the slightest, they finally locked eyes with each other. The two elderly individuals helplessly shook their heads as they began to realize why Xun Er had brought them on this journey out of the Gu realm. One of them promptly remarked, if this issue spreads within the Gu realm, it's likely that the young men who admire Xun Er will turn insane. Beside them, a man chuckled and then said, it seems that Miss Xun Er's vision is truly exceptional. From what she knows, this person is from the Xiao clan. Hearing this, the elderly man next to him was immediately surprised. He wondered if this young man was indeed descended from those parents. He smiled and continued, no wonder Sioyan has become strong now. But even so, it won't be easy for him to gain acceptance from the Gu clan. After all, he's only a descendant of those parents. Moreover, the young lady is someone from the Gu clan, whose lineage has been nurtured and perfected for nearly 1,000 years. Meanwhile, Tianhu Zunji and Xiao Yifxian behind Sioyan were stunned by this scene. Tianhu Zunji remained composed, merely surprised that Sioyan had acquainted himself with someone so powerful. The strength of the two elderly men in black attire was something he couldn't even perceive. Meanwhile, Xiao Yifxian's eyes widened as she observed Sioyan's back. She glanced at the person in Sioyan's embrace, a hint of dimness fleeting in her beautiful eyes undetected. She realized that Sioyan often mentioned Xun Er's name during their journey. From the tone he used when speaking about Xun Er, she could discern a hint of affection. This realization left Xiao Yifxian somewhat surprised. She understood Sioyan's character well. Though he might seem warm, he rarely expressed such emotions to anyone, especially a woman. This stirred a sense of envy in Xiao Yifxian's heart, even if she didn't consciously acknowledge it. Meanwhile, on the other side, Xun Er allowed Sioyan to embrace her. Some pity flickered in Xun Er's bright eyes as she keenly sensed how difficult it had been for Sioyan after he left. The Xiao clan almost collapsed with his missing father and the captured teacher. The numerous blows had harshly pressed on Sioyan's gentle shoulders, causing Xun Er to truly feel his pain. Afterward, Xun Er spoke gently, advising Sioyan not to blame her for not being by his side all this time. Hearing Xun Er's soft voice, the weariness in Sioyan's heart instantly subsided, calming him. Sioyan smiled before Xun Er's beautiful eyes suddenly stopped at the bloodstains on Sioyan's body. She immediately asked if Sioyan was injured. Still smiling, Sioyan quickly replied that the person who had injured him now had injuries 100 times worse than his own. Xun Er smiled gently before turning around, her eyes immediately meeting Bing's gaze from a distance. A golden fire slowly appeared in her bright eyes as her soft voice was heard asking, would Sioyan entrust the next matter to Xun Er? Sioyan was surprised by Xun Er's words, but couldn't do anything until he finally nodded. Meanwhile, on the other side, Bing furrowed his brow and slowly asked, who is that woman? This concerns my Ice River Valley, and I asked the woman not to interfere. In response, Xun Er immediately smiled and said, the Ice River Valley is indeed quite arrogant. Bing's expression immediately changed and he said, this esteemed self only wants the pitiful poison woman. Therefore, naturally, I will not release that pitiful poison woman. In response, Xun Er raised her eyes and said, Bing will not be able to take anyone away from Sioyan's brood. It's best they leave this city within 1 minute and Xun Er will allow them to leave. Hearing this, King Hai immediately showed his ruthlessness and said, the tone of this woman's speech is arrogant. He rarely finds people on the Central Plains who dare to say such words to the Hall of Soul. In response, Xun Er just shook her head and said, there's still 30 seconds left. Bing and King Hai's expressions completely drowned, until a moment later Bing finally couldn't resist as he laughed coldly and said, if they return and go to this state, then the Ice River Valley will truly lose a lot of face. Instantly, black mist leaped from his body and prepared to attack Xun Er. On the other hand, Xun Er's expression remained flat until she finally turned and called the two old men. Before long, the two men dressed in black clothing hurriedly bowed and said, the young lady can be sure and leave everything to them. After that statement was issued, a white-haired man dressed in black suddenly looked at Bing He and suddenly disappeared, and was directly in front of Bing He. Dark yellow Dookie covered the man's body, which then changed into a fierce land dragon. Finally, the dragon quickly flew, shook the air, and attacked Bing He. At the same time, on the other hand, the old man in the black robe immediately walked to King Hai and Tian Shuangzi. After realizing this, King Hai immediately asked Tian and Shuangzi to join forces to face the old man. Then Tian Shuangzi ordered Ganda to immediately attack and kill Xiaoyan. They then hurriedly nodded until finally flying towards Xiaoyan, and the great battle happened once again.